as you guys are running away to get married.
And he takes us to the police station. And he goes in the, he told us we had to stay in the car. And he went in the police station. So he's in there for a while and he comes out and gets in the car and slams the door and he says, "Does everybody in this town know your father?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I says, "My father knows about it." "Well, you're not getting married." Took me home. He went home.
Took me back to the bus station.
Mm-hmm. So, because he had to catch the bus, he had to get that. He had to get to
Fort Bragg,
Fort
North
Bragg.
Carolina.
So that was in January. I think it was January. And so between his mom and my family and that, we set it up for me to go, was last week of March. And that to go down, I took the bus down on that, and he was on bivouac and broke his ankle
What's bivouac?
out
In the field.
in the field,
Field
Got it.
duty.
and broke his ankle, so he couldn't come to pick me up. And that, so, and back then we didn't have cell phones and all of that. It was like I sat there for a long time, waiting and waiting, and then this big GI comes in and stands in front of me and says, "Are you Grace Rose?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "I'm here to pick you up. Come on, let's go." And I'm like, "Who are you?" You know. And he says, "I'm Don Belcher. I'm Shelby's, some relation."
Well,
Some.
he was married to Henry, to Betty, which is Henrietta's sister.
So they were family. Like.
I've known him since I was
Yeah.
yay high. He was my little league baseball coach.
Yeah.
No.
And he had already rented it was a small house, duplex type house with railroad tracks right behind it. And that, so he took me there and he said, "Shelby will be here when he gets here, when he gets off duty." And that, so I waited for him to come home. I had no food, I had nothing. And he brought sea rations. And that's what we ate for a while. Until
You're not married yet.
Not married yet.
But
We had a week to get married. Because my dad figured out I had to go get blood tests and get a physical and everything. And apparently in North Carolina that's what it is. You have to have a physical to get a marriage license. So then we got the marriage license, and the 1st of April, pay date, you know, he wanted to get married, and I'm like, "Well, I'm not marrying you on the 1st, because you'll tell me it's a joke, you know." So it was the 2nd. So we went to the 2nd. We got a preacher, took a taxi out to where the preacher was, and he married us, and his 2 little kids stood in the doorway just giggling at us, and had his secretary or somebody was our witnesses. And that, and then he felt sorry for us and he gave us a ride home.
Aw.
And we had cake that was a ration cake and fruit cocktail.
Oh.
That's what we had for supper on our wedding night.
Let me ask you this before we continue. I want to know, what were your childhood dreams of getting married? Did you have any? Most girls do.
Yeah,
No.
I don't think I really had. I didn't really think about getting married.
She's going to be a nun.
I was going to be. I did go in. Diane and I went in for 3 weeks into the nunnery to be a novice, and it was like you couldn't talk. everything was by bells. You had to do everything by bells. Certain bells meant get up. Certain bells meant chapel, meant eat and go to pray. You prayed all the time, and you couldn't talk. You know, so we'd pass everybody and each other, and we're like, because we both convinced each other that we'd do it, because her brother was a priest, and so we figured we'd do it, and